What's going on? What is going on, everybody? It is Monday, March 18th, 2024, and we are back with another midday stream. Let me apologize for my tardiness. I was very, very, very tired. I literally just woke up because I had to do like an early morning workout. And when you wake up that early and do those workouts like that, it could be very exhausting, especially if your trainer is basically kicking your ass, which is exactly what happened with me this morning. So I apologize for that, but no, all of that aside, we are finally here and we are finally talking about this particular story that has gone viral several times over for many different reasons. And we're going to get into all of that today. We're going to talk about various different things. I have several articles pulled up. I have a particular video that I want to show y'all as well as it pertains to this story. And then, of course, you already know in true midday stream fashion, I'm going to drop the link and let people come up and say what they have to say, because I know people have a lot of opinions about this particular story, and we are going to hear what some of y'all have to say today. But with that being said, make sure y'all, if y'all haven't done so already, to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Shout out to everybody that is on Patreon, all of my members, people in the Discord, people who follow me on Twitter and Instagram, those who send me stories, and everybody in the chat as a collective right now. Before we go ahead and get started, let me acknowledge those who are in the chat so far. We have Hacksign KT, Derek Parker, Ice Spider, Wallow J, Demarcus Vaughn, Denise Scales, Jerry Bedford, Lewis Knowles, Savion Draco Zero, Kid Gravity, Lady Messenger Kendall, Shramp Steen B1, Nightfall Drop, Jariah D'Souza, Stuns, James, Tommy the Otaku, Chris Vesey, RBJ, Shamika Gray, Yoon Saluz. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Forgive me if I'm not. Eric Little, David Brown, Dewani Nelson. Let's see who else we got. Let's talk about it. And that is it so far. And there's 96 people in here so far. So let me go again. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the share button. I would greatly appreciate that. So everybody in this chat right now is pretty much very familiar about the whole Kaylee Gain situation. if y'all are unaware, there was this video that went viral a couple, not even a couple, I think last week. It was last week. Went viral last week where you had this this PC girl by the name of Kaylee Gain who got into an altercation with this black girl, and we've actually had found out what her name is, the black girl. I'm gonna say it a little bit later. And we didn't know what it was over. We just saw a fight right there in the middle of the street. I mean, we see fight videos all the time. But when I tell you this one was very, very, very aggressive, that's exactly what I mean. And I think everybody in this chat. Oh, you say Yoon Sellers? Okay, thank you for correcting me. Thank you for correcting me. I think everybody in the chat has seen the video. Of course, clearly, I'm not going to play the video on here. I definitely would not play it on here by this time. Many people have already seen it. If you are on X, you have seen it. You probably have come across it maybe on another social media platform. But this black girl, she beat the shit out of this girl. And at the time, we didn't know what the fight was even about. But of course, leave it up to a certain sector of Twitter to take that video of what they saw and literally spin it into a narrative that was comfortable for them and demonizing to not only the girl who did the little black girl, but also use it as a way to demonize the entire black collective, as they typically do. Again, we don't know what the fight was about, but they took it and spun it into this black girl almost beat this little white girl to death. So much, in fact, that some of the first comments that I saw under that video or about that post or that incident was that Kaylee Gain had died. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, what she died? I was like, what she did? So I went into Google and put Kaylee Gain into the Google search, and I didn't see anything about Kaylee Gain dying. I just saw that she was beat up, that she was in like bad condition, she was in the hospital, and that there was a fight, but nothing about her dying. Like I was saying, RIP, oh, she died, or the black girl needs to be charged with murder. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, this girl is still alive. Even as I'm talking right now, she's still alive, albeit she's not in the best condition, but she's still breathing. So I kept seeing that pop up a lot. I'm like, wow, y'all trying to put this girl in a grave before it's actually time for her to actually go. And I know why they did that, because if Kaylee Gain was to pass on, then they can say, oh, now we can say she's been charged. Now we can say she's going to be charged with murder and all this type of. And that, first off, they don't know how these charges work, or at least how they should work, because it's not like the black girl went to Kaylee with the intent to want to take her out. At best, if she was to get charged with anything, and if it ever got to that point, which I hope that it doesn't, homicide would be their best bet. Probably an involuntary homicide at that. Of course, if they charge her with, if it came to that, then like, oh, they undercharging her. Oh, it's anti-white and all. Listen, they have showed their ass since this video dropped and went viral last week. If any of y'all are on X, y'all will see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And then when you look at the video itself, you're thinking to yourself, what happened? What happened for it to get to this point? Because that black girl was fighting her in a very aggressive, blackout, rage, anger type of way, especially when she was slamming her head into the pavement. So it's like, okay, what are they fighting over? Was it over somebody? I've seen that, because apparently Kaylee Gain had a black boyfriend, and we're gonna really talk about that. I'm just giving y'all a summary of what we're gonna go over. We heard that a bully situation that came up quite a bit, so we didn't know. But over time, we would. Thank you, Jariah. That's what I was thinking. I said involuntary homicide, involuntary manslaughter. That's what I was looking for. I was like involuntary homicide. That doesn't sound right. But thank you for correcting me. So it was a number of things that were popping up in our heads, of us who were thinking logically. But to them, they immediately went to, this black girl beat the brakes off this white girl. So, they turned it into a racial thing. Notice none of us turned it into that. They did. But these are the same people that will get up online every day and tell us to stop making everything about race. And we don't see color and this, that, and the third. But that's exactly what they went to with this. And notice they've been doing that a lot lately, especially when it comes to us, because they feel like they're losing a lot of these little small battles, especially on a racial front. So now they figure, you know what? If I can't beat them, join them. That's the mindset that they're having right now. And even when they do that, they're still losing. And what we're going to go through today is going to prove just that. Hence why I put the in the thumbnail, it says, my point has been proven once again. And then I titled the video Way Deeper Than a Physical Altercation, because it is indeed way deeper than that. So with that being said, let me go ahead now and share my screen. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was this man named Bill Ackman. Now, in case y'all don't know who Bill Ackman is, he's basically one of these billionaires out here. And then I looked up some of his stuff, and then I saw like woke and DEI. And when I saw that, I already knew where this was headed at. So when he did what he did, I'm not surprised in the least bit. So you have this man named Bill Ackman, who is a multi-billionaire, who donated $10,000 towards Kaylee Gain's medical expenses. Now, keep in mind, this was posted March 14, 2024. This was 4 days ago. I think at the time, Kaylee Gain had about over $200,000 in her GoFundMe. So you got to think 4 days have passed since then. Her stuff is well over that. It may be at 300,000 or more by now. But he was one of the biggest, if not the largest donor to her GoFundMe. Bill Ackman is one of the top donors to a GoFundMe for the Missouri teen who was left in critical condition from being viciously beaten just blocks from her high school. The hedge funder gave $10,000 to the campaign launched earlier this week to support the 16-year-old victim, Kaylee Gain, and her family. A spokesman for Pershing Square Capital Management LP confirmed to the Post. As of Thursday afternoon, Ackman, who was listed on the funding page under the name Willie Ackman, and another person, David Humphreys, were tied for the top donor spot. So if you see right here in this screenshot, this is a picture. This is from Thursday, y'all, of her ongoing GoFundMe. They have a goal of $500,000, and at the time they had raised $226,697, which I'm sure by now has increased. The GoFundMe has raised over $225,000 in just 2 days. Now you got to think about this. He and another person were tied for $10,000 for the top spot, the top donor, and they raised $225,000 in just 2 days. So there was multiple donations sporadically falling in over the place over the last 2 days, and we can just about guess who it came from and why it went that way. I can guarantee you, if this was a fight between two black girls and it went the same exact way, she would not have raised that much money that fast. I can almost guarantee it. It's because of the optics of it. Think about it. When it happened with, what's his name? Daniel Penny, with what he did to Jordan Neely. Look at how much money he raised in just a couple of days. When that cop that killed Mike Brown had that GoFundMe, look at how much money he raised in a couple of days. I can go on and on and on. Do you not see a pattern here? Just checking. Let's continue. Ackman's donation was first reported by the Daily Mail. Nearly 5,000 people had donated to raise over $225,000 of the campaign's $500,000 goal in just 2 days. 6 days after the attack, Gain was still in critical condition with major brain bleeding from a skull fracture and frontal lobe damage. The teen loved ones will not know the extent of her possible brain damage until she wakes up. Now, I want y'all to keep that in mind about the GoFundMe. Put a pin in that GoFundMe topic for later, because we're going to revisit GoFundMe later on in this stream. On Wednesday, Gain's parents expressed hope that she would recover. We are so grateful for the amazing medical staff who have been tirelessly give her the best possible chance at a full recovery. Gain and another team became locked in the vicious caught-on-camera battle near East Hazelwood High School on Friday afternoon. The horrifying footage showed Gain and the other girl hitting each other before Gaines was ultimately pinned to the ground. The other girl repeatedly called Kaylee a bitch before slamming her head into the pavement multiple times. Bystanders could be heard reacting while Gain was left convulsing on the ground. The other girl, who has not been formally identified, of course, now we know who she is, but we'll go into that a little bit later, was reportedly arrested at the scene. The extent of Gain's injury left many local lawmakers calling for the perpetrator to face maximum adult penalties for the encounter. So they immediately said, we want this girl to be charged as an adult. They're going straight to, we cannot just simply charge her as a teenager or as an adolescent or a minor. We have to charge her immediately with being, an adult for what she did. The criminal should be charged and tried as an adult. If the victim dies, that offense should rise to a homicide, Attorney General Andrew Bailey wrote on X. And remember what I told y'all. If she was to pass on, if Kaylee Gain was to pass on, homicide is probably as far as they're going. Don't listen to these people on X talking about, first off, saying that the girl died and she's not dead, and then saying, oh, she should be charged with murder or attempted murder. That wouldn't even hold up in court. That's how you know you shouldn't be taking no law advice from these clowns on X. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley used the incident to make the case for a federal mandate that would increase the number of school safety officers on campuses. If it's good enough for some football games to have security presence, to have cops, to have security cameras, surely it's good enough for our kids, the Republican said. The Hazelwood School District did not immediately return the post request for comment. Ackman, age 57, who has not publicly spoken about Gain or the fight video, though he made headlines in recent months for his comments on anti-Semitism and DEI initiatives at U.S. colleges. He was the most vocal Harvard alum donor who called for Claudine Gay to resign as president of the school amid a firestorm of criticism over her response to the Israel-Hamas war and plagiarism accusations. So y'all are now getting a little bit more insight about what's his name? Bill Ackman. Ackman is currently threatening to sue Business Insider over its report that his wife, Neri Oxenberg, was also a plagiarist. So for those of y'all who forgot, he screamed out about the whole Claudine Gay thing, and then people did some digging about his wife and found out his wife, Neri Oxenberg, basically plagiarized this huge report that she was doing, and she did more plagiarism than what Claudine Gay allegedly did. And notice how that just kind of fizzled and faded into obscurity. You don't really hear about it anymore, even down to them talking about Claudine Gay. When that came out, they stopped talking about it because you had no grounds to stand on. It was like, well, since you want to sit up here and talk about Claudine Gay, let's talk about your wife and all of the plagiarism she did. We're going to get to that 40 acres. We're going to get there. We are going to get there, 40 acres and a tractor. We're going to get there. Trust me. Eric said, stand your ground doesn't apply to us. That is only a privilege afforded to white. Listen, we are sharing a brain right now because I've been saying that for years when it comes to stand your ground. It seems like every time stand your ground or self-defense occurs with Black people, there's always some kind of a loophole there where it doesn't fit or it doesn't work. So that's that article right there. The next thing I'm going to talk about is this the Missouri Attorney General Bailey. He's on Newsmax. That should tell you enough right there. Now, let's look at the reasoning he gave for why this happened. He said DEI, DD as I like to call it, pushing school culpable and white teens beating. How in the hell does DEI apply to what happened? Someone please let me know, because I'm confused. I'm probably as confused as he is for saying that. How does DEI apply to this? I'm so lost. I really am. Missouri GOP Attorney General Andrew Bailey told Newsmax on Thursday that because Hazelwood School District in Missouri promoted DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion programs over school safety, it has a quote unquote an enormous amount of culpability in the savage beating of a white teen by black classmates. What? These are the people that claim they have such a high IQ, everybody. I just want you to understand this. The white teen identified by the New York Post as 16-year-old Kaylee Gain is reportedly in a coma after a black teenage girl slammed her head repeatedly into the pavement in a caught on camera assault. Report indicate Gain was left convulsing from the attack and she sustained a skull fracture and possibly frontal lobe brain damage. During an appearance on National Report, Bailey said he sees a quote-unquote first-degree assault where he watches the video of the beating of Gaines, which took place near Hazelwood East High School. How was it first-degree assault when it wasn't a planned thing? See how they try to switch stuff up? And this also reminds me of, remember, have y'all seen those fight videos where those altercations where you have, it could be a white kid or a white person and they're fighting, and then all of a sudden then nothing happens, no one interrupts it. But when that black person, if they get the best of that PC person, then that's when everybody wants to jump in and whatnot. What y'all saw in that video is exactly why they always want to stop it, because they know how aggressive black people can get when they start fighting. I've said it before, I say it now. Black people, we are some of the most aggressive fighters I think I have ever seen, especially when it just comes to like a street fight or something like that. We are very, very aggressive. Don't believe me? Watch some of them and you'll see exactly the same thing. We are some wild ass fighters. Steer clear so you don't get caught in the crossfire. Let me say first and foremost, my thoughts and prayers go out to the victim who's still in critical condition and in a hospital in St. Louis today as we're talking. Let's be real here. He does not want to send well wishes out to this girl. That's the thing. Many of them don't even care about Kaylee Gain and her well-being. They're only using her as a prop so they can spew their anti-black rhetoric. That's really what it boils down to. Because again, if the optics looked a lot different than what it is, they would not have anything to say about this. It would just be another one of those, another day. That's all it would be. If you watch the video, let's keep in mind this occurs at 2:30 p.m. on a Friday in broad daylight in a public street just a few feet from the school where these teens are students and there's multiple teens involved. It is a horrendous situation when you've got this many individuals that allow this fight to escalate to this level. But if you drill down and watch the actual assault itself, you see an attacker who repeatedly bludgeons the victim's head against the hard pavement, clearly intending to inflict serious physical injury. The law is clear on this point. The court has to hold a certification hearing on a first-degree assault to determine whether or not this situation is better dealt with in adult court. Now, keep in mind, he's the attorney general, y'all, so he holds some weight with this. That's what he wants so bad to happen. I'm here to tell you, when you have teens at this age, they know better. They know what they are doing, and teens who commit this kind of violent crime need to be held responsible as adults. He added that identifying the underlying cause of this fight is going to be critical in determining, oh, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, hang on to your seats as we continue to go on with this stream, because we did find out the underlying reason behind this fight. So hang on to that. Just in case anyone in the chat is unaware of why this fight happened, we found out what it was, or at least one of the reasons. Bailey also said that the school district promoted radical DEI programs in 2021 in place of school safety, which could have contributed to the brawl outside of Hazelwood East High. The school is 1.4% white and 96.7% black. In other words, they are more in favor of racial divisiveness than in having school resource officers on their campuses, he said. In August of 2021, it was announced that the school was requiring the uniformed police officers who were in the schools to take the school district's DEI training, and the police agencies refused. They declined to do so, so the schools booted them off campus. So what role did this radical, divisive DEI indoctrination program play in preventing a police officer from being present and detecting this and or from causing the racial divisiveness that may have motivated this fight? I think the school has an enormous amount of culpability. Look at their statement. There's no moral clarity here. They don't mention the victim once. So that was a word from the Attorney General of Missouri. That was his word, and that was his take. I'm not surprised that's the route that he went by mentioning DEI. And then he says, go back to the 2021. DEI wasn't even a thing back in 2021. What the hell is he talking about? My goodness. But like I said, look at the narrative in which they're trying to spin this. That's all I'm gonna say. Now I'm gonna take a little break from this particular story to talk about two stories in particular that went viral. One went viral late last year, and another one didn't get that much attention, and it should have, considering it happened in the same state. So how many people remember the story about the student in Kansas, the little black girl in Kansas that was attacked by her PC classmate, and nothing really happened to the PC classmate, who was a boy, by the way, but they ended up suspending the girl for defending herself? How many people remember about that story? Let's go on a little refresher just in case y'all forgot. I don't see how y'all would, because this happened just a couple months ago. I think I might have talked about it too. Students at a Kansas high school are outraged by the administration's response to a fistfight between two students, a black female and a white male, saying that the school has a history of condoning racism against black students. The Kansas City Defender reported that the girl, identified as Bree, suffered a broken nose during the hallway brawl at Shawnee Mission East High School and was hospitalized. The male student, heard on video spewing the N-word, had no reported injuries. Administrators suspended both students. Now, why is it that nobody, the ones who's rallying behind Kaylee Gain, how come none of them had anything to say about this? At least not in the same vein as they're doing with Kaylee Gain. Gee, I wonder why. The Defender posted a video that shows what led up to the scuffle. In the footage, Bree is in an apparent heated argument with two white female students for using racial slurs and calling black students slaves, according to the news outlet. They walked away, but the tension remained. The second video shows what happened next as the two girls retreat and Bree yells her final words in the dispute. The male student, who was standing near the white female students during the verbal argument, walks away with the white females. As he walks away, he's heard saying to Bree, "Shut the, I'm guessing, F up." Bree demanded to know who said it. He turns around, hurling the N-word, and charges toward Bree. The two of them exchange punches. The Defender interviewed students who were furious but not surprised by the school's administration's response to what they viewed as a hate crime. School administrators have a pattern of failing to discipline racist behavior and downplaying racist incidents. They said the administration displayed its apathy in a letter to parents about the fight. As a school and a community, we know that in order for students to learn, they must first feel safe and supported. Shawnee Mission East teachers, administrators, and staff will continue to do our absolute best to help every student who enters our school feel safe and supported so they can be at their very best. The words we use matter. Racially charged language, insults, and slurs will not be tolerated in our school. I find that hard to believe considering the history that y'all have. And there's some a little other more stuff there, but y'all pretty much get the gist of it. Where was all the outrage then? Of course, we said something, but where was all the people on her side? Where was her 220 something $1,000 GoFundMe in 2 days? Like I said in the beginning, look at the optics of it. You had a black female fighting with a white male who was using slurs towards her. He broke her nose, and they just chalked it up and ended up suspending both of them when she was the one that was being attacked. So that's that story. The other one I want to talk about probably did not get that much traction because it was overshadowed by what happened with Kaylee Gain. And that's this one right here of a black boy by the name of Justin Brooks. It says police are searching for suspects in fatal stabbing of 14-year-old boy killed after leaving middle school. The 14-year-old boy was identified as Justin Brooks. And shout out to the 300 people that's in here. If you haven't done so already, make sure you to go ahead and hit that like button. It says authorities have yet to make any arrest in connection with the death of a teenage boy who was killed this week after leaving his middle school in St. Louis, Missouri. So it's also in the same state as what happened with Kaylee Gain, but it's not getting any traction. For some of y'all, this may be your first time hearing about the story. The victim, who has been identified by police as 14-year-old Justin Brooks, was walking home from Jennings Junior High School when he was fatally stabbed around 3 p.m. According to the KMOV, the stabbing occurred around the corner from the school. Local police said school resource officers were the first to arrive on the scene and provide medical treatment to Brooks. The Kansas City Star and St. Louis Riverfront Times also reported. The boy was reportedly taken to a local hospital where he later died from his injuries. Dr. Paula Knight, the superintendent for the Jennings School District, addressed the incident in a statement to KMOV. Sometimes the community spills over into the schools, and we do our best to ensure that we keep it separate, keeping the children safe at all times, but it is tough times right now. Where was their outrage about this? And this was posted on March 14th, 4 days ago. So I'm just curious. Just a little curious. Oh, we know, Scoop. We know, but I got to ask anyway. They care when they can demonize them. That's when they care. But other than that, no. So I just wanted to bring those two particular stories to your attention. And now we're going to get back into Kaylee Gaines. So remember how I said we don't know what was the cause of the fight and everything like that. There was so many speculations as to why it was, but we didn't know a pinpoint. Well, we can start with this one. Allegedly, the fight was because of over a boy, and that was alleged, but I don't think, honestly, that was the case either. And you'll see what I mean when I go to the next part. But Kaylee Gain, of course, got all of this support. She got all of this support. But then it came out that she had a black boyfriend. So as y'all can see right here in this picture, and I'm going to enlarge it so y'all can see it a little bit better if it'll come up. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to enlarge this picture so y'all can see it a whole lot. Okay, there it is. So here's a picture of Kaylee Gain right here, and she's with her black boyfriend. And there you can see him right here. He's kind of right here. He's standing behind her here. So that was initially what people were saying. Oh, were they fighting over a boy? That was what the initial response was. But I want y'all to peep the caption that this Jason Kessler left. He said, Kaylee Gain, the white teen who had her head bashed in the pavement, and her black boyfriend. We're going to need a complete shutdown of white women until we can find out what the hell is going on. So the minute that people found out that Kaylee Gain had a black boyfriend, they started to pull their support away from her. And when we called it out, they tried to make it seem like we were lying and making something up. It was like, no, go back and look at this post right here. And you can see for yourself who led the charge on that. And it was this guy right here. And it was so many others that ended up joining in. There was some of them was like, huh? Like, what kind of logic is this? Now, if y'all remember when I did my midday stream last week, when I was talking about how that PC guy on X was upset because those white women were dancing to hip hop music or rap music at Mardi Gras, and they basically saying, oh, we're losing our women and it's all that kind of stuff. This is like a lot of incel behavior going on. First off, this Jason Kessler dude is a grown ass man. Why are you all up in these teenagers' relationship? They're not even 18. But one thing I kept also seeing as it pertains to this is them use this phrase that I never heard before called paid toll or paying the toll and all this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, what in the hell does paying the toll or paid toll mean? So I went to Urban Dictionary because I figured, why not? They would be the ones to actually probably know it. And sure enough, they did. And this is what I saw. And it was posted August 6, 2023. So this must be a recent term. And it says toll paid. A mixed person whose black dad left them. And it said, and they use it as like in a sentence. It says, do you have a father? No, he left my mom after she got pregnant. Ha ha, you're a toll paid. So to the black men out there, to the male divestors out there, they now have a phrase to belong to not only you, but if you are dating or married to a PC woman or whatever the case may be, they now have a phrase for you both. They call you paid tolls. And that, if that is not steeped in anti-blackness and stereotypical rhetoric, I don't know what is. I know y'all would never have heard that before to Wallow J and Kendall, because I didn't know what it was until that post. Until what? Like maybe yesterday or 2 days ago. So it completely caught me off guard when I saw that. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, okay. Now I see where this is headed. They also called this girl a mud shark. Now I've heard that one before. Now we all know what a mud shark is. We heard that one before. But I'm saying when they found out she had a black boyfriend, then that's when some of them, mainly the guys anyway, started to pull support away from her. Some even went as far as to demand to try to get a refund off of their GoFundMe, that whatever they sent her. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. But we also have something else that I would like to show you as well. Now, this is where, now what I'm about to show you is most likely the reasoning as to why Kaylee Gain got her ass beat by that black girl who we have now learned the black girl's name is Marnice Declue. It sounds like Maurice, but it has an N in there. So it's Marnice Declue, Declue. So shout out to Tariq because he came across this video that was posted on Kaylee Gain's Instagram stories. Now I want y'all to listen to what Kaylee Gain says in this video. It's 19 seconds long. First, listen to how she talks and then listen to what she says.
Y'all friend got beat up. How y'all feel? How y'all feel? And before y'all say shit, the reason this hoe got jumped in the end was because she tried to jump me with her sister yesterday. I don't jump, but you know. Y'all friend got beat up.
Let me play it again.
How y'all feel? How y'all feel?
Now, the person right here, this one right here, that's the boyfriend. That's the boyfriend. She's literally on here talking and bragging about how she and her friends jumped someone the other day. And based on what I've heard, she has a history of doing this with her crew. And yes, y'all heard the accent. She spoke with a black accent. She's one of those. Exactly, Jay Berry. He said she sounds like that Catch Me Outside girl. Yep, she sounds just like her. You know, they all sound, when they all do that, they all sound just alike. Like it's forced. But yep, that is her on there bragging about jumping another girl. Now I can't show the other videos because the other well, I'll describe to you what the other videos are without showing it because clearly I can't show it. Is videos, it's two different videos, actually two different videos from two different angles of the same fight, where Kaylee Gaines and her friends are literally jumping another girl. Now this is a black girl. Now I'm not sure if it's the same black girl that put hands on Kaylee Gain, but it is a black girl and they're jumping her. And there's a video of that, and both videos are on X right now. So we're finding out that this girl is not nowhere innocent as they are trying to portray her out to be. Nowhere near it. So now we're starting to assume that it's a very good possibility. The reason why Kaylee Gaines did the way that she did is because the black girl that was fighting her, whose name is Marnice DeClue, is probably one of the girls that she bullied. That's why I said if you look at how aggressive Marnice was when she was fighting her, I said this isn't just a regular casual fight. This is something more deeper than that because of her fighting style and how extra aggressive she was, especially when she was slamming her head into the pavement. That was very, very personal for her. And when you look at this and you think about the description that I gave of the other two videos, now it all starts to make sense. Now, a question that I kept seeing in the chat was, does Marnice have a GoFundMe? I saw it pop up about 5 times, and I told people we was going to get there. Well, she did have a GoFundMe. Marnice DeClue did have a GoFundMe. As you can see right here at the top in the search bar, it says GoFundMe.com/Marnice DeClue's Legal Defense Fund. So this was the link to her GoFundMe, but guess what? It says fundraiser not found. So the money that was raised to get her these defense fund, they took it down and refunded everybody their money back who donated. So there you go. There's the answer to your question. I didn't want to say it prematurely because I wanted to wait until I got to this point because this is the last slide and then I'm going to drop the link. So if anybody would like to come up, and I know y'all got a lot to say. So there it is. They took down the GoFundMe for her. So, and the thing is, I had just learned they had created a GoFundMe because I think Tariq had posted it on his X account and it wasn't even up that long. That's the crazy part. I don't even think it was up for a day. I went on there because I wanted to see how much money was raised, and I couldn't. And when I clicked on it yesterday, this is what popped up. At first, I thought maybe it was an error, maybe it was the wrong link, maybe something was spelled wrong, but no, that was the right one. And this is what popped up. They shut down her GoFundMe, which tells me it was a lot of people that donated. Something tells me it was a lot of people that donated, but I wouldn't really know because I never saw the actual numbers. And at this point, I never will. But something tells me, they'll find a way for her to get the funds. They'll just have to not do it on the GoFundMe platform. So she can have it, so she can have a defense fund. So to answer people's question, yes, black people got on code to send her money, but look at what happens when when that occurs. Yet Kaylee Gaines can get over $225,000 in 2 days with no problem. And y'all just saw the reasoning as to why she most likely got caught them hands. Again, that girl is no angel whatsoever. But I know y'all have some things to say. I know y'all are itching to press that link. There it is, y'all. If y'all would like to come up and say what you have to say about this, the chat, feel free to go ahead and click it. And you can come right on up and say what you have to say. I'll probably keep it going maybe till about 1:30. And shout out to everybody that is here so far. That is here on this midday stream with me. We got 375 people in here. Make sure if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Joseph Washington, what's going on?
Salute, Tarian. Salute, chat room. Yeah, I couldn't miss this live. Let me just say this. The way we were raised, there's no rules in a street fight. And the point of a fight is to be the last one standing. Yep. This fight didn't take place on the school grounds. And that policy to let police to guard campus, I'm glad that didn't pull through, because if a race soldier was there, who knows what would have happened to my niece?
Yep, exactly.
And what we're seeing now is a pattern that's really the fallout of the Kyle Rittenhouse effect, or I should say the school shooter effect. These campuses, these elementary, middle, high school, and college campuses, they're now coliseums. And the students there see that there's no neutral protection mechanism against said assailants, i.e. these PC shooters or these PC assailants that want to shoot up the place for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So right now, they're in survival mode. And what Marnice did to Kaylee, that was her survival instinct kicking in.
Right.
And when we saw the video, because when I saw the video, I saw myself in there because I went through that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that most people in the chat room either went through that themselves or know of someone that went through the exact same thing. There's only so much bullying or so much harassment someone can take. And when you're cornered, you're going to come out swinging. And wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I listened to Tariq's broadcast. He said if Missouri had a bail thing, he was going to bail my niece out. But unfortunately, they don't have that. And another thing I want to say is, if you got family that's in school and they're going through something like this, hear them out. And if something inside you is telling you that, there may be something to what they're saying as to the atmosphere of the institution they're going, I would say just show up to be ready to stand with them. Mm-hmm. Because they see what is happening, and trying to talk to them or trying to lecture them, it's just only going to make them more reclusive and more defensive, because they see these white kids getting defense, but not so much ours. Even when we get on the same page and donate, GoFundMe, not to be trusted.
Yeah, it's always over the years been some shaky stuff when it comes to GoFundMe in a lot of different aspects. But I'm sure like I said, that's why I was so mad, because when they had removed it, I was curious to how much she had received. I was very curious about how much Marnice had received. I said she must have received quite a bit for them to shut it down the way that they did. And like I said, I don't even think it was up that long. It couldn't have been. It couldn't have been more than a day that her GoFundMe was up, and they immediately removed it that fast. So I'm like, Tariq just posted the link like yesterday, and it wasn't even up that long, and boom, it's gone. It was taken down.
You know what's crazy? I saw that on Nikki the God's IG page, and I didn't know what it was at first.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went on Twitter and said, "Wow," because the narrative was Black people were like condemning Marnice for like the extreme measures she had to defend herself. But listening to this live, you had some Black folks putting money on the books to get her like legal defense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to leave with this, like, if you have like kids, like teenagers, especially young adults that go to these institutions of learning, and if something is in the air, just be ready to show up and stand with them. That's the clear sign to know that, we have our babies' backs, we have our kids' backs, we have our young ones' backs, and our olders.
Yeah.
Just show up and be ready.
Exactly.
Thanks for having me up.
No problem. Thanks for coming up. And before I bring up the next person, to Nati's point, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, if it's Nati or not, they said someone drove Kaylee to the fight and they should be charged. And they said, I heard it was Kaylee's mom who drove her to the fight to go fight her. Now, it's interesting you say that, because in the video, someone had pointed out that there was like an adult white female there, and that white female was literally telling Kaylee, like literally instigating the fight. They're saying allegedly that was her mother. If that turns out to be her mother, they need to get her too. And if she drove her there to go fight this girl, she needs to be brought up on charges herself, because this woman is literally instigating a fight between two minors. But that's what I heard as well. Now, it's all alleged. I'm not entirely sure how true that is. But next up, we're going to bring up the snow bunny effect.
If you're not first, you're last, Torian. How you doing?
You know what? When you did that, I thought I was expecting to hear KG. That's all I was expecting.
I stole his gimmick.
Okay, what's going on?
I did it earlier to him today too. But nah, man, the snow bunny fucked around and found out, man. That's all. That's basically what happened. She fucked around and found out. Like, I also heard, I don't know if you saw in the comments in one of the videos, somebody said, "Oh no, she's not white. She's Puerto Rican." I said, really, bro? I said, man.
When I looked at her picture, I said she looks like a great value Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah, she does. That, man, I saw that and I said, I ain't gonna comment. I said, let me wait to find out what happened. And then it slowly started to come out. Then I saw that same post said, oh yeah, she had a Black boyfriend. I said, there it is. Boom. I already know. Once I went in the comments, I started reading. I said, oh, they started turning her ass real bad. I said, ooh. And then they said her parents our mom was a drug addict and we don't gave her all this money that she might not see and all this stuff. Was like, that's your fault. Y'all react the way that y'all say that we react. But whose fault is that?
Right.
Not our fault. That's your fault. And I never heard that phrase before. What did you say? Toll pay?
You paid toll? Yeah.
I have never heard. I'm like, what the hell is
Me
that?
neither. I had to look it up. Like, I had to go onto Google and go on the Urban Dictionary and look that up, and that's what came up. So that's just another term that they came up with. That's why I said to all the male divestors out there who think that there's a lot of people out there that's against you because you choose to like play in the snow, as they like to call it. Just know that their men over there have a term for you. Well, a term for you both. A term for you both. Like I said, I never heard that phrase before until this.
I guess they had to give them one. Because they always call the white women the N-word lover and stuff like that. I never heard of that before in my life.
Yep, and like I said, Mud Shark was one that I've always heard. So that wasn't new to me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always talk. I remember I told one dude, I said, I ain't got a problem with you dating. You date, you love who you want to love. But I'm going to let you know right now, people don't like us like that. He said he didn't think so. I said, all right. And then he came to me like a year later. He was like, bro, you was right. And I said, I know I was right. I told your dumb ass this shit. I said, her people, her friends, someone may be cool with you, but not everybody's going to be cool with you, bro. I said, go look up how white people, Asian people, Hispanic, Arabs, all of them, how their group, not the individuals, the group, how they really, really feel about you. That will let you know. But let me get off. You know, Dr. Umar will be proud of this young woman beating her ass. But let me get off if I say something else. Be one, Torian.
Be one. And like someone said in the chat, child endangerment if that mother did what she did, because that was child endangerment on two parts, one to the black girl and one to her daughter. And as you can see, what happened is her daughter, you know, well, we see what happened with that. So if that is the case, they need to bring some charges up on her. Next up, we got Denzemus. What's going on?
Hello, can you hear me perfectly?
I can hear you.
Alrighty, I hope you're having a good day. I actually caught you on my off day, so yay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. One of the things that we need to recognize, okay, how do I say this? I want to make sure I say this in a clean way. You know, I've played I'm gonna bring this all in a moment, but I used to play video games a lot when I was younger. So I've dealt with a lot of these Caucasian females and stuff. And I have to say, we vastly underestimate their hand in white supremacy. They're just as, yeah. I can't tell you how many times. Of course, you know the Caucasian men are calling people the N-word and stuff, but you know the white women are usually they usually get away with it more. I can't tell you how many times I've heard them call me N-word this and N-word that, and they just you probably already know, unfortunately. But you know, back to this little situation with this girl. You know, it's just like, I'm sorry.
I had to cut you off, but the first time I was ever called an N-word was by a older white woman. I think I actually talked about this in a video a couple years ago where I was saying how I went to go visit my grandmother in a nursing home before she had passed, and the nursing home was in a like upstate New York, and it was this older white woman. Like she had to be like, I don't know how old she was, but she was old as shit. And she called me and my mother while we was there. She said it under her breath, but we could hear her. And she called us goddamn N-words. And me and my mother, now mind you, I was like maybe 13 at the time. And so I heard what she had said. So, but yeah, that was back in 2002. So I know that woman probably in the dirt somewhere, you know.
Hopefully.
She in the dirt somewhere. But yeah, that was the first time I was ever called the N-word, was by a white woman.
Right. Yeah, you know, they teach this stuff to their kids, and I want to just say this about this little devil witch female. You know, I'm glad that black girl didn't take it easy on her personally. You know, I don't care what nobody says. As black people, defend yourself. These people will not take it easy on us, not one bit. They are not no type of gods. I don't even think I want to call them humans, but these entities they have no right to like do whatever they want to us. And I'm glad that the younger generation has that, excuse my language, they have that effort in their system and will tear some shit up with these people, because that little girl is definitely a repeated pattern. You know, obviously you just said all of the stuff about the other videos and stuff. This is a learned pattern. And I definitely think that her mother is a part of this as well. And I think that her mother definitely needs to be arrested, because it's the same thing that happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. His mother drove him up there to that situation, and then you know what happened. So you know, it's just amazing to me as well how people are making excuses. And I know you saw all of the lies and how they were editing the video to make it seem like how they were trying to make it seem like the black girl was starting all of this stuff. Like it's just it never ceases to amaze me how these people can just, well, I don't know why it amazes me at this point. It should be expected, but like they can just create lies upon lies upon lies. And my thing is this: do these people not realize that the more that they become a minority, the more they're just making their situation worse. Because not even just black people. I know, like I deal with a lot of kids, and I know for a fact that okay, how do I say this? I know for a fact that a lot of other groups do not like them folks. So I don't understand why they keep doing stuff to make things worse for themselves, because they're already a minority. They're going to be an even, I'm sorry.
It's part of their nature. That's just what it is. That's just it's not supposed to be understood by us. It's like it's like only they are supposed to understand it. It's supposed to sound foreign to us, like it doesn't make sense. Like for some of us it doesn't make sense, but for those of us who understand it, that's just who they are. We're not supposed to really question it. It just is what it is. Like that's like as they always say, your biggest doing can be your greatest undoing. That is what it is. So I've come to accept that. That's just who they are.
Yeah, well, they better figure out something, because, like I said, I've spoken to all different types of groups, and all of them say that they're sick of these people's shits. So I don't know what they're going. I don't know what they're going to do. Like by 2050, I don't know what they're going to do, but they better figure something out, because we're not scared of their asses anymore. And once again, I'm just so glad that little girl defended herself, because once again, that little Caucasian girl, I know for a fact, I've seen kids like that before. They do stuff and they don't get no consequences, and it gets worse to the point where they could probably end up killing somebody. Now, look, I know that little white girl has a concussion, and to a certain extent, I do feel a little bit bad that she got a concussion. But at the same time, your ass came over there starting shit with somebody. You can't control people's reaction. You can't control nobody's reaction. That little black girl whooped your ass. It is what it is. And I don't, I feel sorry for her a little bit, but I don't feel sorry for her, because it's like you get what you deserve at the same time. You definitely get what you deserve. But that's pretty much all I want to say. And I hope the black girl gets like a defense team or something, because these suspected white supremacists, they do not show no mercy to our young people. And I just want us to like have that girl's back as much as possible.
Oh, definitely.
B1.
Thanks for coming up. That was Denzemus. Next up, we have Ring Lives Matter. There he is. There he is.
I'm representing Green Hill. What up?
What's going on?
Yeah, what it is. Same old, the same old is. But I feel nothing, because she felt everything.
Oh yeah.
But
all I'm gonna say is I'm glad I wasn't in that position.
I mean, you don't go forward unless you know you can win. Every time y'all watch fights, y'all see people, they say, listen, throw first. If you throw first, you better end it.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's not like do we all watch the same video? We clearly saw in the video where she approached her first, and then that's when it went forward. But see, they keep trying to edit out the video and whatnot to try to make it seem like Marnice was the one that started. It's like, no, she did. And I bet you it started way before it got to the street, because that's usually how fights begin. Like if they go on to fight in the street like that, it usually starts somewhere else and it carries over there.
Yeah. But I had put something in the chat about a case that's kind of similar to what happened with this, but I know how the white supremacists are. They ain't gonna use it.
Of course
we just got to make sure somehow, some way, they get the full video, not that cut up one that they were all using. And
that's why I was glad that Tariq had posted up those videos that I didn't show on here, where it shows the Kaylee Gain was actually jumping this girl. And I don't know if that was the same girl or another girl, but it was another girl, and it was a black girl, because I think they said the school is predominantly black. So, there you go. And then you said you heard how she talks. Her boyfriend is black, and to my knowledge, allegedly the boyfriend was aiding in her with the bullying too. So he's just as bad as she is. Two peas in a pod.
Yeah. No. It's here. We're in the belly of the beast now, the eye of the storm. We just gotta wait it out. We have the mental fortitude to wait it out. They don't. That's why they're lashing out, and we're just chilling. But yeah, let me get out of here.
And I gotta go listen to your playback about Rob Smith.
Oh, you're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah,
they said
I was asleep.
Yeah, they said you should post up the StreamYard link. You should pin it at the top.
Oh, well, actually, like I was only going to keep it open till 1:30, so I got 2 more people. So by the time I get to that last person, I'm gonna shut it down anyway.
All right,
but I got some words about Rob Smith too. I actually recorded because that's triple P gold right there. Like, how can you not? So like I recorded it last night, but I'll most likely get it up next week since the schedule is already out for this week. But yeah, I have some words about. But I'll probably check yours out when I get off of here.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, let me get out of here and go get these groceries. But one more thing.
All right, shout out to KG. Next up, we got Jacoby. What's going
on? Good morning, Torian. So this is a school incident, correct?
Yeah, it happened outside of the school. I don't even think it was. I don't know if it was on school grounds or not, because like I said, I can't really tell where the street was located and adjacent to the school. But I do know it had to have started in the school. They definitely went to go to school together for sure.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So the school failed deliberately, in my opinion, because if this lady's been allowed to just go ham on people for whatever reason, and it goes unchecked, she messed around and found out with his sister. So I don't need to see the video how she got her mollywop behind whoop, but I think I probably need to go find the video to see how she got her mollywop behind whoop.
Yeah, like I said, it like that video. The video is crazy, and the thing is, I only saw it one time, and I watched it with the sound off, so I can imagine what it sounded like with the sound on.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, when the black girl was, I think it got more aggressive because when the black girl Marnice was fighting her crew, I don't know if this was Kaylee Gain's crew or whoever these other girls were trying to jump the black girl, and I don't know if they were trying to like jump her and pull her off her or just jump her because she was getting the best of her. That's when she became more aggressive, and then that's when she slammed her head into the pavement. I always tell people, if you try to do that jumping stuff right there when it's supposed to be a one-on-one fight, that's when the person who is fighting one-on-one will get more aggressive. So if you look at it, look at how she was when she was fighting her initially, but then see when this other girl tries to jump in, that's when the black girl becomes even more aggressive.
And that's the mistake that's not her fault. The ones defending, that's not her fault because she don't know that person. You don't know what's going on. And so the rule is, it's an unwritten rule. If I don't know you, don't touch me. So unless it's out of control. And so, everybody likes to jump in and talk about, yeah, I whooped you, but you didn't do nothing. A one-on-one is a hand-to-hand combat. Catch a fade, catch a fair one, and be done with it. But see, here's the thing. Why isn't that other lady's GoFundMe taken down if she has a GoFundMe? If they took down...
You talking about Kaylee Gain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that GoFundMe is still up. Like I said, I don't know where. Like, when did you come into the stream?
I came about 15 minutes ago. I caught bits and pieces of the story throughout the internet because Tariq talked about it, yesterday. But if she has a GoFundMe, then people need to start complaining to GoFundMe, taking that down too. And why is she not in juvenile detention as well? So since they're both
because she's in the hospital.
She can be in the hospital with the handcuffs on. That's how they do it, don't they? And so I mean, if she's the aggressor, but see, because she got her butt whipped so bad, they're like, yeah, I
That's
understand,
that,
but I
that,
mean,
that that's
you didn't have to whip her butt. That's what they're like, and then they're all catching the playing the grift game. Hey, it's money
mm.
coming on in. We ain't
Yeah,
gonna say nothing.
that's what I
Yeah,
said. Like I said, when you look at the optics of it, they saw this black girl. Now, mind you, Marnice size wise is bigger than Kaylee. Kaylee is like a skinny, frail shaped girl, whereas Marnice is more bigger in size. I'm not saying she's obese, but size wise,
she's
she
thick.
overpowers. She dominates her. So
Yeah,
even if the fight didn't get to the point where it did, Kaylee was still not going to win that fight. Like she had no
yeah,
chance. If you look at the video,
yeah,
Kaylee
yeah.
barely did. All she did was that one little swing at her to say that she started it, and the rest was all the black girls. Like that, I don't even think Kaylee got one lick in. Like it was no way she was going to win that fight just on size alone.
Well, if Kaylee, and here's the thing, it would everything was riding on the sister because if she would allow her, if she would allow Kay to beat her up, it would have been a whole lot worse next day in school.
And it
So
also shows you right there that going back to the video that I had showed when Kaylee Gain was bragging about, jumping another person, it just shows you right there that she does not know how to hold her own in a one-on-one fight.
yeah, and that's because she's been allowed to get away with that. And the
Mm-hmm.
schools have, like I said, so if it was me, I'll be looking at filing a lawsuit suing the school because how long did you let this pattern go on before it got to this point? So if they want to sit there and jump in and on talking about we don't condone bullying, we don't condone this, well, obviously you do because you guys want to throw the rock and hide your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so if this Kaylee lady's been doing this for a good minute, I mean, if it was me, if I'm the other parent, I'll be getting all those videos as much as I can as evidence and saving it on my drive. And another thing to the parents, when black folks get on code, do not start that forgiveness shit. Okay? I'm sick and tired of
Mm-hmm.
seeing that too. Everybody put pitches in, gets the GoFundMe. Tariq, you guys jump in, get the movement going, and then we just want to forgive. I don't want to hear that mess because they ain't trying to forgive. They ain't trying to fix this either. They're not trying to hold Kaylee's parents accountable either. Hey, our daughter was wrong. Whoop de whoop whoop. That ain't what they're doing. They're playing the victim role and catching the grift clout chasing.
Exactly.
So I land my
Mm-hmm.
plane there. So all right, Tony.
Appreciate it. All right. The last person we are going to bring up is Xavier. What's going on?
Hi, Torian.
What's going on?
Thanks for having me again. I caught the stream a bit late, so I didn't really get the whole gist of it. But I've seen this story posted by this vile PC woman on X. Where the girl, she's getting her head slammed in the pavement, and I was wondering what that was all about. So obviously the usual suspects, they make it out to be, oh yeah, these black people are so violent, and all the comments was just like ridiculous. So I'm glad you're covering this because I honestly didn't have any context to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, because again, here's the thing. Here's how Dub S really wanted this to go. They saw a fight between a black girl and a white girl. They saw the white girl was getting basically handled,
Getting that
so to
work.
speak.
Yeah.
And getting that work. And they took it and they spun it into a racial narrative. And the thing is, they had to do that without context because they had to do it before the actual context of the story came out, so their narrative could be pushed out there ahead of what really is. But now on the back end, their story, their narrative that they painted is falling apart. Like everything is just falling apart now that we know that we see that one, that Kaylee Gain had a black boyfriend there. Allegedly, that was what it was, but I don't think that's what the reason was. Then we have that other video that I showed where she's bragging about having jumped other girls with her friends in the past, and she's bragging about it. So now it's like, okay, now we might be going somewhere as to why this is. But the thing is, they had to put out this narrative to try to discredit the black girl that was fighting, so that way whatever she said, which most likely would be true, would be not taken seriously, and they will only go with the narrative, oh, this black girl tried to kill this white girl. That's what they've been pushing. Exactly. And they had to do it so fast and like so aggressively, so people who didn't have context of the story would run with that narrative too. That's how manipulative and conniving Dub S is.
Because I noticed every time things like this happen. I don't know if if you're on X that frequently, but you know,
I am.
Yeah, because all these, you know, the usual suspects, they always bring up these isolated incidents of, you know, a black person being violent or something or the other, and try to make it like, oh, now see what diversity is causing, or the new boogeyman, the DEI bullshit, yeah, that all that stuff. They always try to push that narrative and bury everything else. So, like with this, I think the main thing that gets on my nerves about this particular situation is the same thing that gets on my nerves every time I see altercations like this, which is they're both kids, they're both underage, they're both minors, I mean, and yet we see one person is being coddled, and you know, yeah, fine, she got injured really bad, and I don't like to see kids get hurt. Maybe that's just my daddy instinct speaking in, but regardless of what she did, I don't really like seeing kids get hurt. But it just irks me that there's the black kid, the black girl, she's being treated like an adult, while the white girl is a fragile little thing until they found out that she was dating a brother, and then they were like, ah, nah, fuck this. I was like, yeah, y'all are really showing your asses, because you were all for protect, you know, like you always say, protect the white girl. But when you find out the white girl, exactly. But when you find out that she's dating a brother, then you know it's like we lost that one.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
they showed their slip when they found that out, and that's how we found out she was dating a black. Because the thing is, again, that post that I showed with the picture of her with her boyfriend, none of us knew who she was dating. We didn't even know she had a boyfriend until they posted it. Like, they went out of their way to find that picture and make that caption and find out who she was dating, so they could remove support from her. And again, if you notice, it was mainly the men. It was a grown man who posted this, which blows my mind. It was a grown man that did that. Let that sink in. That was a grown man that found that picture and put up that caption, and that's how I found out about that phrase "paid toll," which made me look it up, and that's what I came across.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so creepy how they're always so invested in these young white girls in general, and they're like, oh, we must protect their sanctity, because that's the bedrock of WS ideology, whatever the crazy shit they believe in, that they must protect the white girl at all costs, regardless. But then you find out that a lot of them are creepy. They're creeps. They like to, you know, mess around.
Yeah, I know.
So I mean, anyways, it's just I really hope this this young sister gets is protected, because we need to protect black children from, especially from these PC individuals that just want to see them as adults at all times, including because okay, so I don't know if I can. I have a personal experience with it. Like my sister, my younger sister, she had a like a kind of episode in a church, and then the priest was the one who called the cops on it. Like a priest, a white priest, a PC priest, he called the cops on that. The cops came in, and beat up my sister. Like,
Wow.
put her in jail for days. And so, you know, I don't live in the States. I live in Nigeria. So I was just hearing about it. Like my mom was over there, so she had to, you know, we didn't even know where she was. So at some point we found her and she was so like she was messed up. And I was like, this is she wasn't even an adult at the time. She was I don't even think she was 18. And they didn't care. They just threw her in jail and almost forgot about her. I was just lucky that we found her. So my point is, they always seem to see us, especially the boys. The boys, they see them as men, grown men.
Oh yeah.
Like we're super soldiers that we can, you know, defeat 10,000 men with just bare hands or whatever. And that's why it's really, I feel it's really important for us to.
I'm glad you even said that part, because when I was looking at the comment section under a particular post about this, they even tried to bring up the whole genetics thing, you know, with the genetics of a white woman versus the genetics of a black female, and they was trying to do the whole thing of like, I legit saw this. Like when I was reading through the comments, like they were trying to say, you know, because with Marniche, you know, she's a dark-skinned black girl and she has some size to her. Then they started to say that she was dipping into her masculine energy, and you know, she was hurting the feminine and delicate PC flower that is Kaylee Gain. Like I saw that too. So again, like remember, like these when they say stuff like that, that's coming from them whenever they try to compare black females, especially if you have dark skin and some size to you, they'll try to say that, oh, you're masculine, you have masculine features, you know, you have a certain level of testosterone that's inside of you that's not exhibited in a white female. Someone tried to compare it with a black female to a white male. And I'm like, so what you're saying is that the white male is more feminine, is what you're saying. So you basically, your logic is that the white man is more feminine. And I'm like, you literally just tripped yourself up on your own logic when you said that.
Walked right into that one, honestly. I mean, yeah.
But you got any last words before I shut everything down?
Yeah, super last thing. I'm just gonna say, I lost my train of thought. Okay, but so it's about the whole masculine thing. I just noticed that this is kind of off point, but I just noticed that a lot of times they try to make black girls or black women in the media, most of the movies and TV shows, they try to make them look less feminine than their female counterparts for some reason, like cutting their hair and all that stuff. It's just really sad. So thanks for having me anyway. Sorry about my voice. I have a bit of a cold, but
no problem.
I appreciate all the work you do. Yeah, you keep doing what you're doing, brother. And be one.
Okay, appreciate it. Be one. Okay, that was the last person. Excuse me. Shout out to everybody that came through to the stream, to the midday stream today. We had a good turnout. I think we almost had 400 people in here. For this midday stream, I told you, I definitely had to talk about this. This was definitely stream worthy. Shout out to Rose of Mafa and also Jerry Bedford for the $20 and the $20 and $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who came up and spoke. I'm glad that you all came through as well. We will be back on here tomorrow with the 11 a.m. Eastern time premiere video, which based on the poll that y'all indulged in yesterday, it will be me talking about the X-Men 97 creator getting fired. I'm glad that one fell on a Tuesday because the show premieres on a Wednesday, so it's like the perfect segue. So that video will be coming tomorrow. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be back tomorrow. Be safe and be one.